everybody. I know Wednesday is not my usual day, but I hope it's going to be fun anyway. Maybe you can watch a little bit and then you can always see the rest of it because the live is going to be recorded. And of course you can share with your friends, and that is going to be hopefully something that is going to give you inspiration. Camera and snacks ready. Cindy is the gold star student. She is ready with everything. Oh, thank you, Gabi. And thank you. Greetings to Portugal. Well, to Azores Islands. I have never been there. I would love to go. So guys, today I'm going to show you something that I was doing long time ago. That was the video that is on my YouTube channel, and I was altering then all the old camera, but now I want to do a little bit different. I would like to embellish that in the different style, and also I'm going to use the rust paste in a little bit more complicated way. So you can consider that to be like one level up to the video that I did in the very beginning when we were releasing the rust paste set. And of course there are now many sets of the rust paste, but hello Debbie. But now generally this group of products, so the fantasy textures, the rust paste, and then the effects which are inspired by the rust paste, so patina paste, and then the texture fantasy, they're all working in the same way. So this is going to give you the information what you can do with these products and what they are. If you would like to create together with me, you need something to alter. You will need some gesso. I'm going to use clear and black gesso, mostly clear just to start, to make it faster. Some embellishments, something to stick the embellishments on. So for example, heavy body gel or modeling paste. And we also have the rust paste set and the water sprayer. You also take some waxes, the colors that are going to be going with your idea. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I have the whole set here. And let's start in a moment. And of course, if you have any questions, I will try to look at the other screen from time to time, and if I won't answer, just put it in bold and repeat until I will see it. So that is going to help me so much. But also I can see some of my design team members here watching, so they may give you a hand and give you some tips and ideas, and my brand ambassadors as well. So they are the people who are helping me here with those daily live streams. And there are also my patrons from Patreon group, my official sponsors and patrons of me as an artist. Huge greetings to all of the patrons who are here today. So thank you so much. This camera is not completely metal. This is old Russian Smyna. And Smyna was a cheaper model made for people who were maybe not so high-end when it comes to taking photos. Parts are metal, so the lens here is metal, of course, that part is metal, but the main body I'm showing you now, this is good quality plastic, more like ebonite, quite hard to break, but this is not super precious kind of the camera. I have two of these at home on the shelf, so this is number 3, and I don't feel too guilty to paint it. Smyna, they are I would say the cameras from the 70s, depending on the model. This is like from the 70s, so they are quite popular in Eastern Europe, and you can find them on the flea market for really few euro. And this is not expensive thing to buy if you would like to have it in your collection, or if you would like to turn it into a piece of art. Of course, all of the techniques I'm showing you on this camera, you can apply on any kind of home decor or mixed media project. So it's going to be kind of easy to apply the same techniques. and you can put it on the wooden background, on the frame or on the box. You can put it on the metal background, you can put it on the glass background. It is just the general idea how to use supplies together, and I hope this video is going to answer a lot of your questions about the rust paste as well. Hello everybody, my brand ambassadors Vasilis and Linda just joined us, and I can see friends coming from all over, from Slovenia, from South Africa, and from United States, and from all the possible countries. So it's great to have you here in my studio. Let me switch to the table view, and we're going to start with preparing that surface so we can add extra colors to it. So first, of course, what you need to do is to add some gesso so everything will stick better. Yes, Poland. Poland is very strongly represented in mixed media world. So, okay, it's almost straight. Let's say this is straight. I don't want you to be seasick when I'm moving the camera. Okay. So, as I told you, this is mostly plastic. This is metal part, the lens, and I'm going to save that part from painting. So what I'm going to do now, I will try to cover that a little bit with the masking tape. So hopefully maximum of this is going to be safe. I'm very heavy-handed when it comes to application of the art mediums, so I prefer to just put some masking tape on it instead of trying to be careful while painting, right? So that makes a lot of sense to me. Here is the little window. This is where we are going to look through, so if you feel that you would like to keep it safe as well, it's probably safer to cover that with a bit of masking tape as well. Just, you know, I know myself and I'm hopeless. So you can always add finishing touches around that place later. So I covered the lens and I covered the, I don't know how you call it in English. I would say this is just a window. In Polish, this is a vizier. So the place that you look through. And before I'm going to add any embellishments on it, I will put a coat of any kind of gesso you can find, because we just want to make sure this quite old item is going to be matte and ready to go. You can see it's still in working condition, so hopefully after all the alteration I can still make it work. Okay, for example, the first step, it can be clear gesso, so all my metal and plastic parts will be much more workable. There is no special technique about clear gesso, you just need to apply it with nice coat. Oh yeah, I always try to have selection of the cameras at home, and I don't really alter them too much unless I have 2 or 3 of the same kind, so then I don't feel guilty. But I keep them as a part of my display. Yes, this mina is broken. Yes, it is. Yes, of course it is. It does, yeah, I don't know, that part that should move doesn't move anymore. Like, yeah, it does move, but it's not really working. Sorry. I have 2 more, and they're in better condition. Hello, Emilia. So I'm starting with just 1 coat of clear gesso to make my work easier. And clear gesso will dry quickly. You can dry it with the heat gun. And of course, when you work on the 3D object, it's kind of a challenge sometimes to find a way to hold it. So I will try to paint the bottom and the top and the sides and front first, dry it, and then I can paint the back of it. One coat is going to be enough. It's just to help us stick the embellishments on, because we're going to turn it into a little bit more steampunk-like style. So this is going to be a bit more fancy. It is not the most complicated design of the camera, so we can add some extras to make it look more cool. Okay, this is really enough. So I'm going to dry that part, and then I can paint the back of it. Yes, I know. My husband is a photographer as well, and he checked carefully which one is in the worst condition. So he gave me the one that is certainly not working anymore. And we have exactly the same one on the display, and it is in much better condition for sure. So you don't have to worry, Ingrid, that this is still alive. No, no, it's completely dead, and we don't have to feel guilty. Remember, when you alter items or when you do some kind of home decor, the preparation is important. You should not skip this preparation steps. So if you work on the wooden elements, it's good to start with sanding them down and then adding gesso. If you work on the plastic or on the metal or glass, it's important to put the primer. So the gesso is going really to make your life so much easier in the next steps. So it's better to really spare this extra 5 minutes and then have much easier job than to struggle with the next steps, with gluing, with painting. So it is not much work, as you can see. I'm trying just to paint with one coat of clear gesso or any other gesso. What? Oh, my dog is not happy because I keep moving here and she can't sleep. Poor thing. Yeah, so clear gesso is a kind of quick solution, and it's the thinnest of them all, so you will have the details of the project visible. So I really love thick gesso, heavy black or heavy white, but if you'd like to see the details, white clear one is the most liquid. Now we have to make a plan. What do we want to add? What do we want to put on our camera? Of course, it all depends how much you'd like to change the original look. And I have some selection of the embellishments which are going to be matching the size. Hello, Mia! Okay, you can tell clear gesso is dry because it's turning transparent. You can see the biggest difference is now the camera is matte, right? So that is ready to go. And suggestions of the sizes. I can see that, for example, these smaller embellishments, they're going to be nice to add some steampunk touches. They're small enough. That is... for example, I think going to be good option. The same in this set, we have these ones, and probably even that one is going to be fine. So I have these here as well. Just in case, if I would like to add some extra knobs, because I would love to, I have the set of the knobs. You can think about some extra touches that are going to be adding those details which are kind of missing on this design. And for the touch of magic, I've got some mechanical stars in 3 sizes. They are kind of going with the concept and the idea as well. And of course, as Alexandra noticed, I also prepared like the general selection of embellishments here. And I'm going to try to add some elements which are found objects. I will try to see which one of these are going to fit. Yeah, this is cookie tin, of course. And I've got some light bulbs. So, you know, there should be the flash of the camera here. So we can try to replace that using the light bulb. I have 2 sizes to check. Also, I've got some smaller keyboards, which are going to be quite flat. This is not a bad option. I've got some leather belts, which may add something more steampunky to it. And on the back, which I want to keep mostly flat, I was thinking I can add some label to add extras. And again, I've got some more of the flat embellishments, similar to the ones I was showing you in the packaging. So this is basically my plan. For the adhesive, there are options. One of them is, of course, the heavy body gel. You can use that one. Another good option would be modeling paste. If you have modeling paste from Art Basics, this is also going to be good glue. We need something that is going to be thick and is going to hold elements in place. If you don't have these, 3D gloss gel or 3D matte gel, they are also good options. So that would be my suggestion. Let's say today we are going to use modeling paste. I have it in my hands. It's a big jar. I will take a good scoop on the palette and then we can work. I will just put it on the lid. You can see this is almost like toothpaste. And this is white after drying, but we don't have to worry because this project will be completely repainted. Gels are better when we are planning to keep parts of the embellishments or parts of the background visible because it's transparent. While modeling paste works really well, but the problem is it is white. So for some projects, it is simply better to use the gel medium. And if you are not sure what you're going to do, again, I would say gel medium is going to be your friend. So let's start with the unpacking the embellishments. I'm going to open some of these, so I have them here on hand, just in case. When you are working, these are perfect little palettes for the paint, so keep them somewhere. It's kind of recycling as well, so try to give them a chance to be used again in the future. Well, hello everybody and greetings to Florida as well. Okay, so these are perfect size, right? I'm not sure if these ones will fit, but we will check. Oh, I will keep these in case. So first of all, a little bit of the measuring. This is still working. Yeah. So if I can find something that is going to fit under. Okay. There is a chance. Oh, if I stick it here, I can still move my... That should work. And then for the good balance, because we have two mechanical elements here, it would be nice to add something more on the other side, but maybe not too big. Let's check if this one is going to fit better. Yeah, blocking. I will try to keep these two. And then on the other side, this is a little bit too big. Oh, this one looks cool. Okay, this one goes here. And of course, we have to start with something, so I'm going to glue the biggest and the most important elements first. Don't worry about the excess. I'm going to clean it off in a moment with the brush. But however, you know, we are going to use texture paste on the top anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. This is exactly the same. And that one is kind of nice. Oh, this one. And the winner is that one. Black modeling paste. No, I didn't consider that yet. I will have to think what would be the purpose of using it. Probably for using with the stencils, I guess. That would be one of the options. Here I would like to put the label. Your story matters. So we will add the new label for the camera. I keep putting my finger in the jar once I put the modeling paste in front of me. It's hard to kill your habits. Hello, hello, good to see you. You know, you have to be careful who you are trying to rob when you are taking the camera, because if it's going to be something very precious, oh, you may be in trouble. There are some cameras I would never dare to touch because they are really almost like my babies. There's no way I would touch it and try to alter it. No, they are too beautiful and too precious. But the one which is not so expensive and not so rare, it can go as a cool altered project. I think we can add some tiny bits here as well. Oh, I have this one. What is the point of really having that here on the lid if I always go into the jar? Of course, imagination is the limit, as always. You have to just trust your instinct when it comes to creativity. I'm not sure if I can keep it working. Probably the paste is going to kill it anyway. Oh well, I can at least try. And then on the other side, oh, that's cute. Propeller. Last time I couldn't really remember the name in English. I almost broke my tongue saying that word. Hello, Katya, my dear. Hello, Marilyn. Oh, no worries. We are very relaxed and we don't really have to. Look, you didn't tell me you don't see anything. Look, I should probably move it a little bit more down. Yeah. Wait. Close your eyes. So you're not getting seasick. Now I can work and you see everything. What else we can add here? I had this little spot that would be nice to fill with something. How long is it? I was worried you couldn't. I think on my screen it was a little bit too far down. Okay, so I'm adding like a belt. Okay, they look quite cool. So maybe let's add some of the screw heads. I've got some screw heads that are going to add nice finishing touches. I'm going to put a big screw here on the side, and then smaller screw heads and bolts. They're going to add more steampunk finish. These are all coming from the packages like that, but I always put the leftovers into the bigger containers after the classes, and this is how it ends up in my house. So let's add some of the bolt heads as well to turn it into steampunk looking camera. So some extra screws for the design. Hello, Patricia. I should answer hello to one of my favorite students. In this case, if you start with such a statement, I can't be worse. Look, I'm just adding little bits and pieces. We don't want to cover that completely because it's still a camera. We don't want to change it into something completely hard to recognize, and that may happen if you go very, very far with alteration. Sometimes it's hard to recognize the object, so it's good to have that balance between alteration and the real look. So I'm trying to make it look cool, but at the same time I would like to be sure that people still see this is the camera. There are two empty spots which I could fill with a little screw head, but maybe different style, like this one. Oh, that is going to be perfect. As you can see, modeling paste is quite convenient, and of course the white color is not going to be a big problem for us. We're just going to paint it black and then rusty anyway. Now I think the front is almost ready. Maybe I will add one more detail here on the belt. That looks cool as well. And then we can look at the back of and the top of the camera. Because the top looks quite plain, I was thinking I will add some extra knobs or buttons that we can pretend they are therefore being pressed down. And before that, I was just going to dry the front a little bit so nothing will come off by accident, okay? Drying is a very important part of the process because this is what is keeping our composition safe. And in the meantime, thank you so much for joining. I know it's Wednesday. This is not so a convenient day for the live stream, but I hope you're going to have a moment to have a look anyway. And I know this is maybe not Christmas project, but as I was trying to explain before, I'm not huge on the Christmas decorations. Like, I'm not really great in making these, and even if I make them, they look not so Christmassy. So that's why I always struggle when it comes to Christmas time, because I'm hopeless at making cards and Christmas decorations. They just don't call my name somehow. And that's why we came with this camera instead, and a little bit more information on the rust paste this time. I know that for some of you, Christmas decorations are absolutely the top of the top, but for me, it's really kind of a pain. Yes, cameras are really lovely items. Now I have to look at the sides to see which part is opening. Okay, here. So I should not glue something on that side, and here, yeah, I should just keep it. I can add something on this area, but not here, in case, if somebody would be very curious, I would like to open it, we can give a chance to make it happen. Oh, that was a lot. I can give you a moment of truth. Easter is even worse. I can't imagine making Easter decorations. I like decorating eggs, but I do it more traditional way. Not really artistic, like not really very much mixed media. But maybe one day I will decide to make like steampunk eggs collection, and this way it's going to be a little bit more me. So now we will try to put it carefully this way. Okay, still works. And I was thinking about putting a label here, because there is that part that kind of looks cool, and I would like to keep some of the surface flat so we can do some drip effects with the rust effect paste. So I have two labels. I have this kind of label that is going to be quite cool, I think, and we have this label, and both of them are kind of fitting. This is my cat, so we take it away. This one is more decorative. This is more maybe this one. I'm sorry. So again, I'm sticking the label. Oh, that's a great idea with the picture of somebody. I love that concept. And we can pretend this is screwed down as well. I just don't know why I have this problem with Christmas. I do decorate my house. I have really nice Christmas tree and lights and everything, but when it comes to Christmas crafting, I feel overwhelmed. This would be the best description. Overwhelming. No. That fits perfectly. So this little knob has the word art on it. Yeah, screw heads, they are really doing great finishing job. When you have some kind of project, when you are going for a more mechanical look, it's nice to finish with something that is going to pretend that elements are really attached. And sometimes, this one didn't stay. Sometimes you can put brads, of course, and they're going to hold it in place. But sometimes there's no way to put a brad or a real screw. So then you can just pretend and try to add some kind of embellishment that is, like pretending it is really screwed down. And this is when I use bolts and elements which are similar to screw heads, and this is kind of cool solution as well. So here I've got some things that I would like to try on the top. And I wanted to use one of these light bulbs on the top of the camera. This one has this bottom which is not very flat, so it will be harder. I can try to put it this way, but this one is more flat, so if I will be careful I can add it here, and I can even secure it with the hot glue and then add the modeling paste around it. This is the bottom of the light bulb, and that may be quite cool element as well. And then we can add these as extra knobs, I think. And I can always add more of the small ones. So this is the secret plan. What do you think? So for this light bulb, I will put a little bit of the hot glue here to keep it straight while I'm using modeling paste around it. Let's hope it's going to hold it enough. That is really cool, but it's very empty as well. Maybe let's do the same thing. I'm looking for the glue stick, and they were here not so long ago, but that means like a week ago, and that makes me feel they are buried under stuff here. Okay, found it. So let's give this not enough. 1, 2, and then maybe 3. This one I can just stick with the modeling paste. It's going to be fine. Okay. That really started to look really cool. Okay, let's have a look at smaller knobs. This set of knobs was inspired by the guitar knobs, electric guitar knobs, and I really like it. Okay, so let's put 3 of them, and that will be it. But before, before I would like to secure my metal elements, which are only glued down with the hot glue, especially the light bulb. Don't worry, it is messy at the moment. I'm going to come with the brush and push it in the right position. No more hot glue. Let's plug it, unplug it. Okay, and now we can like push it into the right place. And take off the excess where we don't need it. Remember, there will be texture here anyway, so a bit of imperfection is not going to make huge difference. It's better to secure it and dry it completely and make sure it is going to stay in place than to be sorry, because things will come off. And this object, it's very likely people will be happy to touch. They will be happy to take it into their hands and to see how it was done. So it is better to add extra, okay? I know why am I talking so much. It's because it's so quiet here in the usual situation. There are people talking in the background, and now it's so quiet. When I do the live streams, I have to imagine that you really can see me. Look, this is empty inside, so I have to put a little bit more. Okay, 2 is enough. Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an even number. That is going to be really nice. Cleaning, drying, and then we go with gesso. Cleaning. A little bit of cleaning. Oh, come on, you hot glue. Okay. This will be the moment when I can come again and read the questions. So if you have any questions about the process so far, I will be very happy to answer. Remember, this is going to be very, very vintage, almost like salvaged item. So it's not a big deal that there's going to be extra texture in some parts, like here, for example. It's already dry on the glass, of course. My life is always struggle. Uh-oh, I touched something on the back. Of course. It all depends what time you're going to bed. I think I'm going to use the paste in about 20 minutes. And that is like maximum. So now drying time. The hardest part is done. This was the most challenging because we had to make the construction of the camera. We needed to do a bit of the conceptual work, so thinking about what is going to fit, but also there was this challenge of gluing down oh shit, sorry, it stuck to my finger. Now this challenge of putting things from different angles and holding the elements at the same time. So, you know. Now I'm trying to go from different directions to make sure the modeling paste is going to dry. In the meantime, you can drink some tea. Thank you, Patricia. I kind of think that there is beauty in a lot of everyday objects. Just people don't give them the chance. They don't think about them as potential art objects. They just see what they are. They forget that there is a lot of potential, a lot of chances for the makeover. Yeah, snack time. If you start looking at things and you can see that they are in fact beautiful the way they were designed, and then they have a lot of natural possibilities to use them for different kind of purposes, then your creativity gets on the next level. I think you can just use anything you have. It's super hot, so now I have to give it a moment to cool down. Sometimes when you touch elements, you will see they're moving, but this may be not because they are still wet, it's because the gel medium or modeling paste is so hot. So it's good to give them a moment to cool down and check again after that. Like here I can feel this is still a bit wet. Ah, hot. I'm trying to take off the things that are not needed. These are okay. Look what I've done. Yes, my husband is my best cheerleader. Yeah, he's always like that. This one is moving. I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be here. Yeah, perfect. Not bad at all. You remember the toy challenge? Yeah, I have to see the whole comment. Yes, monster truck. Okay, I'm touching now. Okay, they're almost good. This one is again, I'm sticking to it. You can see modeling paste is very good glue. So be careful. Don't glue yourself to your project by accident, because it may happen. So now I'm going to take off the tray with the potential elements. We don't need it. I'm going to make some space so we can take the paste and the black gesso. And we will start painting. Okay, I have to be very careful around these two guys and a little bit here, but it should be fine. So let's say this is completely dry. It is not, so accident may happen, but I don't want to wait too long. And if you can, wait until everything is completely dry. Then your work is going to be so much easier. And of course, you can take that to the dry and warm place, and it's going to dry naturally, or just leave it overnight. That will be a great solution. or you can use the hairdryer or the heat gun. Once everything is there, we can prepare the background to be painted. And because the colors of the rust, they are going to be mostly browns and reds, dark ones, and maybe I would like to see a little bit of the natural shadow, and the camera is black anyway, I will start with the black gesso to give it a coat of priming. So all these glass elements, all these metal elements, they're going to accept the paste better. You could use any other gesso, but only if you're going to repaint everything completely with the paste. So keep that in mind. It's just convenient, and that's why I'm going to use black one. You know, I have that advantage here that I have every possible color of gesso in front of me, so I don't have to worry. But in case if you are wondering, yes, you can use any color of gesso, as long as you are going to repaint your project completely with the rust paste. And now one coat of gesso. And of course here on this modeling paste, you have to be a bit careful, because maybe in some places it may be still a little bit wet, so it's better to be gentle. I'm just going to dab it here, so I'm not pulling that out. Okay. If you have any questions about gesso, this is acrylic primer, so the kind of solution that makes your backgrounds matte and not absorbing at the same time. So that means that you are going to have your, work much easier. I'm just thinking maybe I should not paint the light bulb completely. I will try to leave some of that natural, so there's a chance we're going to see the inside of the light bulb. I just thought about that. Luckily it was not too late. So here, when I suspect my modeling paste is still a little bit wet, I'm just dabbing instead of pulling. I really love the bottom of the light bulb here. I think that looks very natural, very much like in steampunk style. And I'm sure I'm going to use that element in the future on more of the projects because it's super cool. You can see the makeover is really quick with the black gesso. I'm just going to dry the bottom so I can put it back. Gesso dries quickly, so that makes our job easier. When the gesso dries, you can see it is turning matte, and that means it is drying. Once everything is matte, it means it is safe to go. Yes, black gesso is very, very useful art medium, especially when it comes to altered art. It's very good solution, especially in the company of the metallic effects. Oh. I will try to be careful. I can always paint the bottom later as well. So now I have to paint the top. Well, the top, the front, the top is painted. And again, the same story, trying to get rid of the metal and plastic to cover everything nicely. And of course, this time we also have to paint the side of the lens. Don't worry, I'm painting it. I will make it silver later. It's just easier when everything is prepared. Have you got any questions, guys? You're very quiet, so I presume that you know everything and everything is clear and no questions about the process so far. Yeah, that's going to be this challenging part. I think this one doesn't want to stay here. Yeah. Yeah, it's better without it. Goodbye. Next time. Ready. Alexandra, you're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, Vasilis, you are sweet as well. Thank you so much. It's just fun to make, and I was thinking maybe somebody will get encouraged to play with the vintage objects to create something unique this way. They are beautiful as they are, but some of them are not so beautiful. So we can make them a bit, give them an upgrade or as upcycling. So now I let it dry a little bit with the heat gone. And in the meantime, I will prepare the brushes for the paste. The paste is coarse, so it's better to use old brushes or the brushes that are just typically for this purpose, so you are not going to use your beautiful new brushes, because that will be a shame to lose them. I will start with 2 brushes. My husband is the best. He just gave me new tea. I will put a mat here because everything will be wet in a moment. I even tried to clean the mat. Can you believe it? I tried. It doesn't mean I did it, but it looks better. So, yeah, maybe I will. It's going to be. Oh, shit. Taram, tam, taram, stick. My fingers are too sticky. I have to clean them off. So let's look at the pastes now. In the set, original set of the rust paste, they were 3 colors, and you're not supposed to dab them all like one on the top of another. It's more like paint, because the rust effect paste is in fact acrylic medium, which is a cousin of the paint, matte paint, and the cousin of texture paste at the same time. It's quite fast drying, so what is very important is to keep your product moist. This is very liquid because I overdid it and I added too much of the water and fluid medium inside. But just to show you what happens after some time when you are keeping that close, it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. This is quite workable, but if you're going to forget about your paste, you're not going to add some water when you close, it's going to be a problem. So you can revive it, adding fluid mediums or acrylic mediums. And for example, very good solution is to add a bit of the fluid medium for liquid acrylics, or you can add some hot water as well. If it's completely solid, it's still possible to break it and to revive it, but it is going to be hard, so it's better when you can to check on your paste from time to time. I'm going to start the application of the rust paste. I was explaining that you can add water, or you can add fluid medium, or liquid gel medium, or acrylic binder to keep them fresh. And these are all good options. If you don't have fluid mediums or gel mediums or acrylic binders, water is going to also do good job. So it's better. It's better to add water than to leave it and hope that nothing is going to happen, because sooner or later it is going to happen. So the best results with the rust paste, and this is very important, you're going to get if you do it in minimum 2 steps. So first step is like general color as a background color, and then in the second step, while everything is permanent and ready, you can add lovely effects, touches, make it lighter, make it darker. So this is going to be much easier this way. Don't try to make it in one step because it's going to be very dirty and messy, okay? So let's say we are going to start with darker colors, and I have brown rust and red rust for that step. And then in the second step, we're going to play with water, and we're going to play with lighter tones, so the yellow and the red. Remember, they look very shiny and very vibrant in the jars, but actually after drying, they turn darker. So this brown is going to turn into like dark chocolate brown, very, very dark, almost black. This red is going to be darker, and this yellow, which looks like mustard yellow, is going to be much darker as well. So don't be afraid. Everything is under control. And again, now we just dab the colors on the top, and you can mix them with each other. So it's not going to be one even coat. I usually use the brown and red together, so they look like they create this natural surface. So in some parts it's going to be darker brown, in some parts it's going to be more red, and it's okay. If you are not going to cover everything, it's still okay. If your paste is very thick, take it on the palette and add some water to it, so this way it's going to be easier to dab it with the thinner coat. The thicker the paste, the more chunky rust you are going to get. Remember, this is coarse, so anyway you are going to get a lot of the texture in it anyway. So there's like a little sand, and you don't have to apply a lot to get a very textured result. Look how quickly it goes. Oh, hello, Olga. Right? You can see I'm just dabbing the colors kind of carelessly. I don't have to do too much. It's easier when the paste is more liquid, of course, but it's also personal preference. I'm going to create the impression. This is very, very old rusty camera that was sitting for a long time in the damp basement. This is what we are doing now. Poor thing, had very bad experience. Somebody completely forgot it. It was alone, sad. And this way we are getting the rusty effect, right? I do the front, I will dry it, and I will do the back so I can hold it in my hand, okay? So you can see I'm just trying to blend a bit of red and a bit of brown. This is like the first layer that is going to create the surface for the finishing touches in the second step. This paste is permanent after drying, of course. Oh, no. So it is going to be easy to put the second layer on. I'm drying and you will probably see how the paste gets darker and darker. Yes, I think most of the people found the second part of the video, so I think that is okay. I'm so sorry for that. I have no idea what happened. I really suspect this was some kind of the glitch with Facebook. And as long as we are all here, it is fine. First layer is really careless, like you don't have to do too much, it's just naturally happening. You can make it thinner because later we are going to add extra touches anyway. And I will show you on this camera different ways of adding the second layer, what you can do. And I think it's super easy and super fun, and you can create the rust effect instantly. So you can see it's turning darker already. It's just compare the red from the jar to the red and the brown. They're just naturally getting darker and darker. I can feel by, with my fingers, it is okay to touch. So it dried enough so I can put it on the other side. I flip it and then I will do same thing on the back. A bit of brown. And of course, remember, this is also going to dry on your brush. So once you finish, put your brush in the water. You don't want to have your brush completely stiff and ruined, right? So give it a chance to survive, put it in the water, and then it's going to be possible to use it again in the future. I would say not bad at all. The result is quick. You can see my paste is very liquid. This was intentional. I added a lot of the water or a lot of the fluid medium inside to make it easy so I can paint with it quickly and I don't have to put a lot of texture. Of course, the more texture you have, the more drying time you will need, because if it's going to be very built up, very chunky texture, it's going to dry a little bit longer. Right? And do we repeat the drying? Again, my finger stuck to something. Now you. Oh, shit. Ta-ra-ra. I love the situations like that. Of course I do. Of course I do. Hello, hello. Well, the camera is really cool object to alter, but you don't have to do it on the camera. You can do it on the box and make rusty box, or you can make it on the frame or even on the flower pot. That is going to be quite cool, to pretend that your pot is rusty while it is really just a regular flower pot. the general concept of application of the paste is the same. It is really user-friendly product. The biggest challenge is to remember to check it from time to time, and if it's drying out, to clean the edge and to add some water or some fluid medium or gel medium so it is going to be fresh. Okay, look, it's turning dark again. Maybe one more minute. I will clean the brush so I can use it again with the lighter colors. Taram, tam, taram. Okay. Oh, hot. Hot, hot, hot. I will dry this one again. Really naughty. So there are two things that you can do now. So that means, first of all, you can just brush the colors on the top. You take your clean brush, and now to make the accents, to make it look nicer, you can now go to the lighter colors, so combination of the yellow and red, and just simply dab it on the top. Let's make some custom mix, maybe. Let's try this yellow here, and then I'm going to put some red, and then you can just do highlights with the edge of the brush. And these highlights are going to show the details better. You know what I'm doing here? It's very easy. Highlighting. And you can regulate the color by adding a little bit more of red or a little bit more of the yellow. It's really up to you. This is one of the options. Of course, remember this dries quickly, so it's kind of natural. You have to work fast, okay? When you have the product on your brush, you have to go quickly. Look how nice it is. I hope I will have classes in Poland at all. This is a really important thing to say today in the close future, because everything seems to be complicated now. Okay, so this is one thing, but there's a second thing that you can do, and I like it even more, and this is combination of the paste and water. And for example, I will just show you here how you can create highlights and drips using water. You put a bit of the paste and then you put water right away and you let it drip, right? And these drips look very natural, like the paste is dripping exactly the same way as the water, creating the rusty effects. So after drying, this is going to look very natural. And this is probably the most recommended technique if you would like to get natural looking effects. Okay, now I'm going to dry. It's not dripping too easily because of the coarse background of the camera, but I will try to do it somewhere again. Let's try here. A bit of the paste and then a lot of water. and everything turns darker, so it starts to look more natural. And if it's too light, you can always repaint on the top. So now it's too light. We're going to add red. And you can play like this until you're happy. There are many ways of doing it. And really, water is my favorite, so I'm just going to do the water on the top, and hopefully this is going to drip all the way on the camera. I almost burnt my my jar. So I'm applying quite a lot of the paste here, and I'm adding some yellow as well, and we're going to water it, so it's going to drip down. Come on, go. Go. Yeah. My brush just ran away. Sorry. So as you can see, this is easy, really. The more you play, the more the fun results you're going to get. And the best way is to do it in steps. One layer, dry it. Second layer, dry it. Have a look, decide if you like it. If you like it, keep it. If you don't like it, add some more. Okay, so this is exactly how I play with my rust paste. I'm just doing on the light bulb as well. And then it creates like these caked groups of rust as well, which is absolutely lovely. And that means it looks even more natural and more convincing. After we dry it, there's just one thing to do, adding some metallic highlights, pretending in some parts there is still metal visible. Yes, Gabi, I was in Berlin in October. It was my first time in Berlin, but before that I was in Hamburg. Oh jeez, I forgot where I've been. Years ago I was in Munich, and then I was in Hamburg, I think. Germany is still quite a new place for me, so I will be very happy to travel again and visit. I will dry it a little bit more so you can see the result. Now, if you feel this is too light, no problem. You can add brown as well. So this is what we This is what we got so far, quite quickly. Now I'm going to look for the places that are maybe in serious need of the retouch. Like here, there is this knob that was trying to come off, so I will do the retouches. Right, maybe something is a little bit too light, so I'm going to add the brown. And basically the rusting process is done. You can now play with the highlights to create the feeling that this is still a little bit possible to see the metal. This is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take silver and silver and iron color of the wax, and almost ready. right? You could see this product is very user-friendly because you basically use it as a paint. You don't have to follow any special formula. The only things you have to remember is to keep your product wet when you are working and to work on the surface quickly. So if you're applying the paste and you would like to get drips, you don't wait, you just apply it and wet it with the water. Apply it and spray it, apply it and spray it. So this way, you're going to make the paste drip before it's going to dry. Because this is the biggest problem. If you're going to paint too much and then you're going to go with the water, it may not react anymore because it's going to be dry. You know what I mean? Waiting too long may be a problem. So you have to be quick, you have to have water on hand, and at the same time, brush that you are not sorry to kill if it happens by accident. Oh, Germany is a beautiful country. I always enjoy traveling and seeing new places, so yeah, it's my pleasure. So let's have a look now. I'm going to work with the waxes to add the finishing touch. Look how nice this looks. This is super thick because of the paste. Oh, here was still wet. I can remove it. And so it looks like it is really eaten by the rust. The same happens here. It really does look like the rust is so deeply in the metal that it is corroding through all these layers. So it does look very, very convincing. And here is the part that I missed by accident. So now if it happens, you just give it a bit of love and it's going to be ready to go. And now I'm going to close the jar so it is not drying out, and I will take the waxes to add some finishing touches. Okay, so this was the basic set, the rust paste set. There are 3 colors in the set: red rust, yellow rust and brown rust, and you use all of them together to create dimensional look. So that is the reason there are 3 colors, because if you just use one color, it looks very flat. But if you start mixing them with each other, the look is really like the rust you will have on the metal objects. I know the light here is not the best, probably, to see the details. It's quite cold daylight, but I promise to take the photos tomorrow and you're going to see the details better. So usually this kind of rust would happen on the iron. So I will take brushed iron wax. We can also try a bit of the old silver. And this is for adding the touch-ups in some places where we would pretend the metal is still visible. And you know, it's really up to you how much you are going to add. Palette. Oh, right. I put it on the paper because on the back there are some elements. So I don't want to go too far. Oh, that's a lot. I will see. If I want to add some lighter silver, I will do it. But now I'll just take one of the really small brushes. I make sure I have a tiny bit on my brush. Deep in the... And now I can brush the edge of the camera again. I will make it dirty with my finger in a moment, but now I'm just like adding a bit of the touches in some parts, pretending that maybe here and there will be still some parts not completely corroded. Not too much though, because we wanted to create the rusty effect for a reason. This is just to highlight and to create the impression. Maybe somebody was trying to clean it off a bit here and there. Oh, it does still work. Haha. Perfect. Now I can also take this out. Yay, the window is more or less clean. I will try to make sure that part of the plate is visible. Again, it's a personal preference. How would you like to finish? This is the matter of the personal preference. If you would like to see more of the metal or you would like to see more of the rust, you know, it's hard for me to decide for you what is your project going to be, right? This is something that you have to decide. I'm trying to take this one off. Yay! Not bad at all. We have this visible, and let's see what happens here. Yes! Now, because it's too clean, I will do a bit of the rusting, and it is finished, I think. What do you think? Do I need to add more of the silver? Or not really? Tiny bits. You can also bring back a bit of the rust if you feel that you moved too much, of course. Now, trying not to paint the lens. It's going to be a challenge. But let's see what happens. I know there was no gesso in that part, but it's still going to stick. Heat gun is one of the most important tools when you work with this paste, so you can quickly dry and move to the next steps if you want to. So now, let's have a final look. And the products that we used, so it's like a recap of everything. There's one thing which is kind of annoying for me. I don't know why this here. Yeah, it was a bit too much. So we used in the order right, we have the camera ready. We can see the effects of the rust on the top, a little bit of the metallic. I will do a little bit more of the metal in the back maybe. I really like the front, so it's still moving. Ha ha, ha ha, great. And this one, yeah, still. So we started with clear gesso to prime it. Then we used modeling paste to glue down the elements. And that is the main glue that we used all over. Then we primed everything with black gesso, just in case if I'm not going to paint everywhere perfectly. Once it was dry, we used 3 colors of the rust effect paste. And that is brown rust, red rust, and yellow rust. All of that also using some water. And finally, we add finishing touches with the brushed iron wax. And really, I will have to give it a moment to decide if I want to add any extras or maybe more of the rust here on the lens, because it seems to be a bit too clean. But honestly, this is quite cool. If you compare it to the video that I did in the past, you will see I improved my skills of explaining things as well. And of course, this is much longer video than the one that I was doing before for YouTube channel. And kind of YouTube doesn't like the long videos. I don't know why. And anyway, I hope that was helpful. And if you were planning to get any of the rust effect paste, all of them have the same formula. So they are having some kind of coarse finish inside, and they are reacting with water the same way. So you can get results in different color palettes playing with the similar kind of project. So if you have any questions about this product, of course, I will answer in the comments later. And now let me switch so I can say my goodbye. I'm hot. The camera is ready, and I think it looks a little bit cooler than it was before. I will take a photo tomorrow with the altered and not altered together, so you can compare the regular black Smyrna and the steampunk version of the camera when it was for a long time in a very damp basement. And this way you can think about maybe some similar projects in the future, and you can do this kind of alteration using rust paste on everything. And of course this is like full rust, but you can do just touches of rust in selected parts of your composition easily. You just do the tiny brush and water, and this way you're going to get all these effects, all these drips, all these parts that are very natural looking. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the wonderful time together. And of course it's going to be all recorded. I hope we didn't lose the first part of the video. And you can come back to it and watch it later if you have a moment. And of course, if you have crafty friends who would like to learn about, you can send them this video so they can watch and learn and get inspired as well. So thank you so much. and we will be in touch soon. And thank you to all of my patrons who were here today and supported me. We have a new date coming this weekend, so stay tuned. I'm planning to do new live stream for my patrons only on Saturday. So if you are coming, I will going to do a bit of the proper mixed media education this weekend. So all the patrons of €10 and more, the live stream is coming. Thank you so much. Bye bye and see you soon. Oh, my hand.